This evening, we do have a work session dealing with the Avon Lake Health Services Advisory Council. This advisory council was set up back in January of 2017.
This commission members are Gregory Zilka, Martin O'Donnell, Joyce Elliott, Judy Bird, and myself, Joanne Duffy. This commission was requested by the Avon Lake Council members. Before you is a packet of brochures and handouts with information that will be referred to throughout the presentation. The purpose of the Advisory Commission is to evaluate the Lorain County Public Health District services to ensure that the services are efficient, effective, and are promoted to our residents through various means so that they may take full advantage of the array of opportunities available to us.
But just to highlight the main categories, there's the community health and prevention, which covers your immunizations, your school health, screenings, and public health visits. Under the category of community education are services such as professional presentations and workshops. The Department of Environmental Health, which is probably the one that most people are familiar with, includes food safety, animal bites, household water, solid waste, mosquito control, parks, schools, swimming pools, and general nuisances. And to our knowledge, we are the only city that has gone to this extent to evaluate the Lorain County Public Health Contract. So after reviewing the Lorain County Public Health offerings and the public health needs in Avon Lake, we found that there were 3 distinct missed opportunities. Number 1 is a need for communication between Avon Lake and the Lorain County Public Health. Number 2 was a need for community awareness of what programs Lorain County Public Health has to offer within the contract. And number 3, a need for a connection or a networking between the Avon Lake City School nurses and the Lorain County Public Health School nurses. We immediately met with Barb Kegley, who is Avon Lake's Director of Digital Communications and Cable TV. We established a much needed link between her and her communication counterpart at Lorain County Public Health to receive regular public health updates, enabling Barb to post new programs, opportunities, and community alerts to the Avon Lake residents for cable TV when they were made available by the Lorain County Public Health. The second opportunity, or a missed opportunity that we defined earlier, was to create a better public awareness of Lorain County Public Health community programs. We are working now with Lorain County Public Health to uncover and publicize these through various means. As we mentioned, cable TV, through senior centers, and even the fire department.
Prior to Avon Lake contracting with Lorain County Public Health, Avon Lake City Schools had minimal direct communication with the Public Health Department. We found that there was a disconnect between the school administration, Lorain County Public Health, and the city school nurses. This was yet another missed opportunity. After connecting the school nurses with Lorain County Public Health, we were very excited to hear that they were taking advantage of multiple services offered to them. This includes monthly and quarterly meetings as well as email notifications. Lorain County Public Health has a robust program that complements the efforts of the Avon Lake school nurses. So the connection and communication resulted in a win-win for both the Avon Lake City Schools and Lorain County Public Health.
So on the screen you've got the future initiatives which are actually happening right now. And just quickly coordinating a nuisance committee with the City of Avon Lake Zoning, Building and Fire. They are expanding our travel vaccine services for the residents of Avon Lake. They continue to provide the annual flu vaccine clinic that has already been done this year. We have already talked about expanding the Buddy Connect program in Avon Lake. And as Judy described, the providing assistance with training and stocking of naloxone, which is the Narcan, in the schools. An interesting one is administering assessments to help identify the needs of the Avon Lake community. And there are several different indexes of doing that. And we might be able to get a little bit more information from the folks from Lorraine County Public Health in the question and answer period. And then lastly, continuing to work with the Parks and Recreation to add healthy options to the concession stands, and that is happening, that is already happening. So in summary, the Health Services Advisory Commission highly values the partnership with the professionals of Lorraine County Public Health. There are so many programs and opportunities available to our Avon Lake residents. The Lorraine County Public Health website just has a host of information regarding these program options that can be taken advantage of by all. So we strongly advise the community to view this excellent website. So what we've learned in this process is if you need something from Lorraine County Public Health, just ask.
I want to ask some questions related to some things I don't see in this presentation. And then I think the follow-up question is going to be whether this is a final report out, Mr. President, and if the commission is sunsetting, or if the commission can do some supplemental work based on the question and maybe make a follow-up report based on what I'm going to ask right now. My concern with the change to the Lorraine County or a city-funded health district to the county health district, I should say health department to the health district, has been funding. And the way that we fund our participation in this is through real estate taxes, as opposed to from an income tax based or a general fund based. So it should be a fairly easy operation for us to understand what Avon Lake's contribution to the health district is, right? And I think my concern and some of my colleagues' concerns as we approach this issue was Avon Lake, as a wealthier city in the county, would be a net contributor to services and essentially subsidizing less wealthy cities in the county, right? And that's just the fact of the way that the state has set up these districts, right? I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't think it's the best way to fund this kind of thing. I'm more of a pay your fair share for services type thing. That's the way the state laws dictated that these be funded, right? And so I had thought that part of the task of this commission was going to be to understand how much we're contributing and to understand and realize whether the city was getting its fair value for its contributions of its citizens, right? And this annual report is great. I think this is very helpful, right? I don't see finances attached to any of this, right? So it'd be really nice to understand how many, we know our assessment values for the city. That's an easily identifiable number through this county auditor. We know the millage, so we should be able to figure out pretty easily what Avon Lake's residents contributed to the health district. And then this group of the statistics, services, is very helpful. And I would imagine that there should be a way to monetize these services, right? I mean, if the district provided one prenatal visit this year, there's a way to monetize that cost, right? And so we can kind of do a comparison of services versus funding. I'm a dollars and cents kind of guy in that respect. Perhaps some of my other colleagues aren't. But I guess I would like to see that, right? I'd like to answer that question. Are the residents getting value for what they're paying? And I think until we know that, I think there's an unanswered question as to whether this has been a good change for the city. I agree that there are a lot of things that the Lorraine City District wasn't doing, and that's certainly an improvement, and I'm happy to see that. And aspirationally, these are great projects. We should be doing these things. But I don't think we've answered the question, are we subsidizing our neighbors or not? And I would hope, Mr. President, that this is not a final report out, that perhaps the commission can kind of go back at this and look at this issue, on a financial basis to understand whether our taxpayers are getting the value for their hard-earned dollars.
Really, our budget is threefold, right? It's a third grants, a third fees, and a third tax dollars. So the number that you should really be thinking about and that your residents should hear is that it costs Avon Lake residents $15 a year per $100,000 house. a $15 a year per $100,000 house. Because again, when we talk about it, a lot of people will thought that number. I know some Avon Lake residents, and they've asked me this question, and I tell them that, and they said, a year? And I said, yes, $15 a year per $100,000 house. So that's the number that we're talking about. So I think that's important, though, to kind of spell that out for residents so they can see, is that the number that's worth paying?
Thank you very much to be able to come here and to try to answer some of the questions and issues that the neighbors have brought before the city body.
One thing that I really liked that I heard from Mr. Saylor earlier tonight, and you've confirmed as well too, he mentioned that the water issues, the drainage issues that exist will be dealt with independently of this. And I
On
mentioned
individual homes you're referring to?
Right.
Absolutely, and I've been working on that and getting details, okay? It's not just an easy thing to finalize real quick.